The next list, top 10 duos.
Let
And
me
it,
see for this one. Oh, let me get my notebook out.
because listen, all right. I, okay, we're gonna go from 10. We're gonna go from 10 to 1.
Yeah.
I don't want to go first though. So who you got at 10?
Okay. I do have an honorable mention, and
Yes.
that's Shay and Jalen Williams. Because I didn't know if that was a duo. It just doesn't give duo vibes
It
for
doesn't
me.
yeah, it doesn't give duo vibes because they're such a team over there. But as two talents and as probably the number one and number two option on that team, undoubtedly, almost if you ask me. Let's just call it that for the sake of the honorable mention. Another honorable mention as well, I still consider Fox and Sabonis honorable mention. I don't know if they
Okay.
crack the top 10, but I'll give them honorable mention.
Okay. That's actually my number 10.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
interesting. That's intriguing.
Hmm.
I have Jimmy and Bam at 10.
Okay. Okay. Why?
I think that at their best, at their healthiest, they still complement each other very well, and they
Hmm.
still can take and have taken the Miami Heat very far. Now, granted, a lot of that also still has to do with team construction and things of that nature, but them as a duo, I feel like they've proven themselves since their pairing. They usually both have good statistical individual seasons for the most part. I know Bam has pretty much gotten better every single season. Jimmy always depends on whether he's healthy or not, but we all know the legend of playoff Jimmy. So I think when you think of them two together and how they usually come together to get wins and scrape wins at that, I think that's enough to put them in the top 10, even if it is at 10.
Okay, yeah, yeah. The exact reasons that you named is why I have Fox and Sabonis at 10. I just feel like they haven't done a lot to be higher than 10, but we have seen flashes, and what they're capable of is enough for them to crack my list.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not
Did
mad at
that sound right? Crack my
it.
list.
Yes.
Okay.
Who do you have at 9?
Embiid and Maxi.
Ooh, that's low.
This is a great regular season duo, but like
You're making great points. I mean,
it's not giving.
Maxi shows some playoff flashes. I think that was also Maxi's first playoff in that role, and obviously carrying more of a load because Embiid wasn't 100%, which is
Mhm.
why I think this year will be even more interesting, and why I also think that Maxi will kind of take those keys because I just don't see a reason why you would stunt the growth that we saw last year. Like we all saw flashes and saw that, like, oh, if Harden leaves, like Maxi should have the keys. And when he had the keys, he did great and he took a major leap. So I don't see why you stunt that when you have two players who are looking to preserve themselves for the playoffs anyway, first and foremost. But secondly, why not let this young bull go do what he do and me just step in and handle my job? Why not give him the keys to go do that? That's why the pairing should be deadly in the way that most of us see it. That's low, but I understand your reasoning. I understand your. I can't argue with that, so I feel that. I have Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland at 9.
Okay. Okay. They didn't make my list, but I do like the pairing. I really do.
That's fair. I can see why they wouldn't make a list. I can see that. I could
Yeah.
easily see somebody if you were going to consider SGA and J Dub a duo. I could easily
Hmm.
see somebody taking them over them, and if they were billed or dubbed as a duo, they easily would. I could easily see somebody taking Fox and Sabonis over them as well. So
Yeah.
I think as far as like that 10 and 9, I feel like with those honorable mentions, those could all really be interchangeable,
They
depending
really can.
on
Yeah.
what you think is most important or what you think is priority. So
Yeah, that comes down to preference for sure. I don't think it's a wrong answer in the three duos that we made or the spots that you would put them in.
yeah,
I think what's hindering them from being all of them from being higher is just accomplishments.
valid, valid, very real. You got an 8.
Let me see. Okay. All right. It's a duo we haven't seen yet, but on paper, they should do big things. But because we haven't seen them, I have them at 8. It's Jalen and Kat. I'm excited to see this
Damn.
duo. I think you same? Dope. Okay, cool. So I'm pretty sure our reasonings are the same too. We haven't seen them yet, but on paper, like they should be pretty phenomenal. And the Knicks should be contenders this year.
Listen, if we had seen it, or if it's what we think it can be, they'd be higher.
Oh yeah. Oh
They'd be
yeah.
higher.
Yes. Yes.
So it's hard, like you said, on paper alone, they're top 10. Just what you've seen them both do, but they complement each other.
Mhm.
Like a pick and pop with Brunson and Cat, it's tough. I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna lie. That's tough. And obviously, we saw a lot of a decent amount of pick and roll with Ant, and Cat. But I think the way that can be manipulated now, Brunson's already so tough, off pick. So when you have a stretch, four like that, or when you also have that four rolling now. But if Cat also plays a stretch five role, then that kind of becomes even more dangerous for that New York offense. But
It does.
but yeah, them at 8 before even seeing them together is very telling. So it should be an interesting season for the Knicks for sure.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay. Let's see. At 7, I got Jimmy and Bam. That's where I put Jimmy and Bam.
Okay. Fair enough. I have Bron and AD at 7.
Okay. Yeah. Is it because of kind of the underwhelming season that they had last season?
The underwhelming season and the simple fact that I just genuinely think we have not seen the pinnacle of them as a duo. Now
I
that
agree.
that may partially be because of either one, well, both of their health. Like we haven't outside of the bubble, we haven't got to see a lot of them together. And we see flashes, but is it fair to say that they should be more dominant?
It is fair because I even feel like in the bubble, it still didn't feel like okay, this is everything we needed to see out of these two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, I feel like since that trade happened, I still haven't gotten what I want. And I want dominance. Like there has been no dominance. It's always been questions surrounding them. Like, when is AD gonna show up? What LeBron are we getting? Like, I want it to be consistent. I want to know, like, when teams go against the Lakers, they are scared. Nobody fears the Lakers, and that's what they're missing. So I like that. That's a good explanation there.
Yeah, for sure. And it's crazy because AD had one of his best years in recent seasons last year. I think we all can recognize that. And
Mhm.
obviously Bron is getting older, but Bron still can play at an extremely high level. So I still think that I'm not expecting them to be running people off the court, but I am expecting to see a dominance from the standpoint of even if we play half court ball, there's no way with Bron, on ball and AD in the post. There's no way whether we go post, whether we go pick and roll, pick and pop. Like they should have whatever option they want theoretically. In my mind, that's how I see them as a duo based on their skill set. And I just feel like
Mhm.
we haven't seen that to its fullest potential. So that's why they at 7. But yeah, who you do? I have Maxey and Embiid at 6.
Okay, wait. I should have put numbers next to these. Oh, wait. Okay, so we're at 6. I got Luca. No, I got Hallie. I got Hallie and Pascal at 6.
Interesting.
Hallie and Pascal.
Wow. Hallie and Pascal didn't make my list, but they're honorable. There's an honorable mention for sure. They're definitely
Okay, so they're there because the season that they had,
fair.
and then I think with time, it's scarier.
It can be. I'm excited to see them this season. I'm
Yep.
excited to see them this season. They got a full off season. They're returning most of their team. They're still very young. I mean, we saw last year that they had all the pieces, and that was without Mathurin even playing, right?
Hmm.
So we saw Neesmith emerge, but you got you got two of the same player in him and Mathurin
You
almost.
do.
So really interesting team with that duo leading them. Pascal's been there. He's seen the promised land. So They should be in that 10. They should be in my 10. If I was gonna remove somebody, uh I'd probably be removing Mitchell and Garland if I had to substitute.
Okay. Okay.
But I'll leave since I didn't have them on there originally. I'll leave them as an honorable mention. But they are top 10 worthy for sure.
I got you.
All right, top five.
Top five is getting juicy.
Got it five.
Okay. Number five, I got Giannis and Dame.
Okay.
And they're five because of the same reasons that we had for AD and Bron. Now I know it's only been one season with Giannis and Dame, but still I feel like in that one season it could have been a lot better than what we got. So this season I'm looking for more, but I feel like it would have been disrespectful not to have them as a top five duo.
Very true. My bias will come into play. It's not super crazy. It's not super crazy. But they are not five for me. They are higher.
Mm-hmm.
But at five, I have Book and KD at five.
Okay. You know what? They didn't make my list.
Oh wow.
That's yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, I said I would be mad at myself because of this. Okay. I don't even know if I would want to take them out for anybody, honestly, though. Like,
That'll be interesting to see as we get to the end of the list.
yeah.
Yeah, I have Book and KD at five. I think my top four might piss some people off, but this partially with my bias included. But I have my reasoning. Who do you have at four?
Four, I have Luka and Kyrie.
I have Jokic and Murray at four.
Okay.
Mainly because of Jamal, though. This is Jamal's fault. This is Jamal's fault that they're this low. But and more so off of last season and how it ended, more so. Let me be very clear about that. At their best, are they a top two duo? Sure, they've proven that. They got a ring in the last 2 years. So I could see if somebody says that. But for me, because I feel like them being a duo is mostly carried by Jokic, this is no disrespect to Jamal Murray. I like Murray a lot as a player. I am not taking away anything from Murray. He has had moments where he's shown up. He has also had moments where he seemingly disappeared for whatever reason, one reason or another. But I think them as a duo is largely on the back of Jokic. And I think that Murray excels a lot because of how Jokic plays. That's not a knock on him. That's just how the duo is constructed and how their play styles match. Nonetheless, they four for me.
Okay. Okay. I want to combat them being a duo mostly because of Jokic, but it's like you're not wrong. But it's like the flashes we get from Jamal are all time. Like, I forget what game it was when he came down forced overtime. Then in overtime, he hit the game winner. I forget it, but I do believe it was on.
I think
Was it the playoffs?
It was the playoffs. That game one or game two against the Lakers, he hit the game.
The Lakers. It was game one against the Lakers. Yeah, tough. Like, and we see it often. But like you said, it's not enough. So that is justified. I want to back him up though, so bad. I really do.
Wait, so are Jokic and Murray your three or are they in your top two?
They in my top two.
That's fair.
I
have Dame and Giannis at three.
Okay. Okay.
Who's your three?
That's a good question because now I'm mixed up. Let me see. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh, I only had 9. I meant to slide KD and Book in there.
Okay.
So they didn't miss my list. We'll just say that they're 10. So at 3, that means if I slide people up, that means Giannis and Dame are 3.
Okay.
That means they're 3. So they're not 4, they're 3.
Wait, no, when that oh no, you had them at I thought you had Giannis and Dame at 5.
5 is Tyrese and Hallie.
Oh, wait, when everybody moved up, that's
Yeah.
okay.
My four would be Luca and Kyrie.
Got you.
My three would be Giannis and Dame.
Okay. So I have Luka and Kyrie as my two.
Oh, juicy.
Now, this might be last season bias, right? Very much so.
Okay.
They were one of the last two duos standing.
They were.
Um, I think if both healthy, I think it's hard to deny them as a top three duo, in my opinion, based off what we've seen. Will it look better and a little bit more polished this year? Potentially. What they have learned from their postseason run last season is yet to be seen. But I think it's hard to argue them being one of the deadliest. I think
Oh
a
yeah.
I think a lot, but I think a lot of what makes them dangerous as a duo will depend on what type of point guard Luca wants to be.
Is it on Luca?
I think it is, I won't say it's on one player more than the other, but because it is Luca's team and because Luca even still is the more ball dominant out the two, I
Hmm.
think it would be more so up to Luca to find a balance than it would be Kyrie. Luca's also the better facilitator anyway.
He is, yeah.
So when I say find a balance, it's like, okay, Luca, we know you can get 30. That ain't the problem. But can you make sure that
Mhm.
Kyrie gets his 20? Can you
Okay.
make sure of it? And not just make sure of it like, oh, Kyrie gets his 20 when I'm out the game, or
Yeah.
Kyrie gets his 20 because we ISO'd him and I stand in the corner.
Mhm.
It's that part of the offense where in the flow of things, this what like you making sure Kyrie getting at least 10 points off of you. Five of your
Now,
assists is going to Kyrie. That's a bit high. I ain't saying literally, but
no.
at that balance.
How much is that on Kyrie, though? I will be honest. This finals was the first time I called Kyrie trash. I don't know what game it was. He went like 0 for 10 from the field. So
Yeah.
it wasn't not him not getting looks, it was him not capitalizing on the looks that he got. So like how much of that is really on Luca? Because we've seen it from Kyrie before where okay, you're getting great looks. It's not on the shot selection at all. It's not on your teammates setting you up. You're just trash tonight. You know, so it's like
It's
I,
I agree. Kyrie does have to be more consistent. I would not say that this gives him an excuse, but I am interested to see if he better adjusts to playing with Luca. Because we
yeah,
traded the season before, they didn't get a lot of games together. So last season was they full first season together, but even then, especially early on, they didn't get a lot of time together. So I wonder if having a season under their belt and seeing the flashes of what worked really well, is Kyrie now in the mindset of how do I adjust to playing with a Luca the same way Kyrie had to adjust to playing with a Bron? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, so now that you are willingly kind of deferring, understanding this is Luca's team, understanding that you are playing second fiddle to him respectfully, like, yes, Luca looks up to you, but also how are you adjusting to, the man who running the show? So I completely agree. I'm not I cannot argue Kyrie's shortcomings being glaring, especially late in the postseason. So extremely interesting. JT and JB, best duo.
Yep, that's what I got. Oh, I don't know if I shared number two. I do have Jokic and Murray at number two.
Right, right, right.
But yeah, Jason and JB at number one.
Yeah, yeah. Hard to say the champs aren't the best duo in the league. It's just really hard to say.
Now, who's the number one out of the duo?
We not gonna yeah. Y'all not gonna get us enough Tatum clickbait. We ain't gonna even do that to y'all.